Look, Cassie. Hi, Leather Rokk here. Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to my channel. Take a look at this makeup look I'm showing you. These are the Pittsburgh Steelers colors, black and gold. I achieved them using the original matte version of the BH Cosmetics. Take me back to Brazil. It's real easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. Oh, what do you think of the hat here? I'm sure there's a long story behind it. I don't know what it is, but it's mine now. And what do you think of Cassie's coat here? Whoops, here. The story behind this, about 4 years ago, before I had this little girl, I got this coat at a flea market for Tabby Boy, but I didn't want to spend $16 more for the next larger size, and I didn't realize that this would not fit Tabby Boy, being that Tabby Boy is rather large, about 25 pounds. Okay. And I had intended to sew Velcro to it, but I never did. But then I ended up with Cassie the cat, and she fits it. So anyway, isn't it cute? It fastens, there's Velcro underneath, and there's Velcro underneath here. All right. Boy, so anyway, let's get started. Got my trusty coconut oil here. And boy, getting a little bit of a late start to the video today. Right now it's 5:19 in the morning. I had a couple of incidents that I had to end up calling the police because we had a lady parked in front of my apartment blasting her very loud stereo system about 1:10 in the morning, and they had like club level stereo system blasting that infernal hip hop racket. And even though I wasn't sleeping, I had two roommates who were asleep, and it really wasn't necessary to be carrying on like that. And well, I didn't call the cops at first. I actually went down there and I asked the young lady. She was sitting there playing with their cell phone in the shotgun seat. And so she actually did turn the stereo down. But then there was this young male that kept coming back and forth, and he was talking very loudly on a cell phone, and he was talking very loudly about drug dealing. And by drug dealing, I don't mean something innocuous like weed. And it was so loud that if I were to try to go on video, it would have come out in the audio. And I wasn't going to stick my head out the window and let hot air out, and I sure as heck wasn't going to let my face be seen to the people down there. So I turned the lights out in the apartment, and then I called the police non-emergency number, and I described the situation, and I said, look, if it wasn't for the fact that the sound system is bleeding through into my audios, I'm trying to make a YouTube video here, and this guy is talking about dimes of, I'm guessing, is crack or heroin or whatever infernal crap. And it's bad enough that you're poisoning our neighborhoods like this, but I really don't want to get these sound effects in the middle of my video. So they said that they would send an officer. But what ended up happening was, in a few minutes before the cops could get here, the car was gone, and whoever the dirtbag was that was outside talking very loudly or doing whatever, he must have gotten in the car with the people. So when I saw that they were gone, I called the cops to let them know that the people went away. So that's why I'm not filming. Oh, and then after that, I was trying to look for this hat because I knew that I wanted to wear it for this. And I was also trying to find a long sleeve shirt to wear underneath this shirt. And obviously, this being fishnet here is not what you call warm, but it still gives me some kind of a layer because it's still very, very cold in my apartment, and it's kind of chilly outside. Our snow mostly melted, but it's still kind of crappy and yucky out there. And, so, and a lot of times sometimes it depends really on the temperature. Sometimes I may wait till the last minute to get dressed for the video I'm making. So, okay, the first thing we are going to do is let's see, the foundation. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the foundation I wore today. I really want to use up this solid foundation here. This is so perfect for traveling, especially if you're going any place. I know I've mentioned this in previous videos. If you're ever going any place that the security does not allow liquids, so I would imagine flying, if they still have those restrictions, certain kind of high security, like if you're going to Washington, D.C., if you frequent it, there's some places I think that they're concerned about liquids. Going in the United States Capitol was one of those places. If any of my viewers ever go to those places, and you can't buy liquids, a stick foundation or a solid compact foundation is your friend. Powder foundations also. And I have some powders that I haven't even opened up yet because I really want to use up the things that I have. But this is good. It stays moist, and it's good for shadows to adhere to also. But I still like to prep the shadow area with something that's nice and moist. And this here is the ELF ELF Complete Coverage Concealer. And, oh, it occurred to me, I'm sorry, I forgot to say the company that makes this. This compact I'm using here is from ColorMates. And the color is light. It only came in 3 colors, light, medium, and dark. And I got it at Dollar Tree. So this compact cost me $1. Okay, this ELF Complete Coverage Concealer, I don't remember how much it is. I think that was $3. And I'm going to prep the lid. Alright. Alrighty. First thing we're going to do in this matte, mostly matte palette is we're going to go to, there's a color here that's kind of like a goldish yellow color. And I'm using a brush from Vivace. And it's one of my favorite eyeshadow brushes because this can deposit and blend at the same time. And you can get a nice amount of shadow on. Don't worry about the fallout with this particular version of the Take Me Back to Brazil. It is kind of chalky, especially the light shades. So go ahead and get a lot on. It's probably still not going to be opaque enough at the first pass. And what you want to do is don't go as far as go up to the crease, but concentrate the color on the lid. I mean, you made the surface of your eyelid nice and tacky so it could touch the shadow. So, but sweep it and pack it. You're going to have to dip more into this. Go back. You want to get this yellow as opaque as possible. And how long it'll take you will depend on the kind of yellow you have and how tacky your eye base is. Because on one hand, you want the yellow on the eye to show, but you don't want it to be so tacky that it's going to make it too hard to blend out the black. Alrighty. Oh, and I remember that I dropped a brush earlier, so I have to go and get another brush. Oh, boy. And don't you know, I had to move a whole bunch of things on top of my bed, so now I have to find my bag of brushes. So much for preparing. Oh, here they are. I actually have a zebra stripe triangular bag that I held my brushes in, but that fell onto the floor and that needed to be washed, and I still haven't gotten around to washing it yet. So, and you know, I really try so hard to be organized, but because I'm always preparing wardrobe, not only for these videos, but for the various events and things I do, and some things I need to wash them right away, others I don't. Some things I can wear a amount of times, some things I can't. And it takes a while, bottom line, before I can actually hang things back up in the closet. So that's why it seems like there's a perennial mess. And it gets on my last nerve, it really does. Okay, we're going to use a kind of fluffy brush. And this is actually, is this? No, yeah, this is from Avon. This has a blending and depositing brush on one side and it has another side that you can use for gel eyeliners and also to get a real fine line on your eyeshadow for under your eye for detailing. You can also use this to color your eyebrows. Now we're gonna, with the big end, we're going to use, there are two whites in this palette. And one of them is kind of on the bluish greenish side. The other is kind of on the goldish pinkish side. Gonna dip into this, not too much because we don't want the iridescence to hit this eyebrow too much. Just gonna sweep it as far as the eyebrow, and we're gonna go it as far as your crease. And the main reason why we're applying this color here is because we want to make sure that when we hit the crease color, which is going to, well, actually, no. Well, there's two other colors going to be used. But we want to make sure that we can do enough blending. So I might want to maybe get a little bit more of this white and some more in the crease and more up here. And you know what? Just so it's not, so they both sides match, maybe touch a little bit here too. You know what? Something else has been bugging me. I don't know what it is. The older people get, sometimes their eyebrows keep on growing, and even though, and I know I got this from my father's side of the family, but and I love having thicker eyebrows as opposed to skinny eyebrows, but I have some hairs that are really, really long, and I have this one that's been bugging me there. Because I hate it when they either stick straight out, which is fine, or they curl. And if they're curling, you can't style them, and I don't really believe in plucking eyebrows because sometimes you pluck them too much and they grow back. I'm glad I was never really into plucking my eyebrows. My mother, when I grew up, she said only tweeze a few that are down here to get on your eyelid, but she says anything up there you shouldn't mess with. And through the years, if I thought that I wasn't symmetrical, I tried to make things as symmetrical as possible, and I would tweeze things right here in the middle. But other than that, I left my eyebrows alone. I was never into making them real skinny like so many people did. I never liked that look. I never liked the Marlene Dietrich look, you know. Okay, now back to the colors. We are going to get another yellow here. You know how we had used the gold color previously? Now we are going to use this color here that is more of a lemony yellow color. Now you don't want to use this color here because this has a little tiny bit of green in it. So we're going to take this lemony yellow color, tap off the excess, and go right above where this yellow was. And sweep it back and forth and back and forth. So you could see a subtle difference between the golder yellow here and the lemony yellow here. You don't want to get too far up here. You want to allow for plenty of this so-called white space. Carry this about to here. And most of this you're not even really going to see. Just going to see a hint of that yellow. Okay. Then might want to go back and intensify the dark yellow a little bit more. As a matter of fact, just for the heck of it, I would recommend intensifying it on this side too because they do ultimately want to match. Okay, now here's a tiny little brush. I can't tell you how many years I've had it. This is for a compact that I believe was some cheap lip glosses that were from the United Kingdom that a friend of mine sent me. And even though this was originally supposed to be a lip brush, I like it as a detailing brush for eyeshadow. And I used it for years before I got the normal kind of eyeshadow brushes that I have now. So it's actually technically one of my first eyeshadow brushes. And I'm dipping this into this black, which is matte. And you don't want to go heavy with this because you don't want it to fall out to get on the lid where its yellow is. Just sweep it here and here. Tap off the excess and follow your crease. Trying for a very skinny line at first. And you can touch the corner. Now, I don't want this to get too dark so I can't blend it. So I'm going to go on my hand and I'm going to wipe off the excess. I had washed my hands so many times to get this black off my hand before filming because, you know, throughout the day, you know how you wash your hands. I actually started doing the eyeshadow shortly after noon today. I really wasn't even planning on doing a makeup tutorial. I just figured, just in case, well, today that I filmed this was Super Bowl Sunday, and I figured let me get dressed and made up just in case I got invited to do a viewing party or something. I obviously have no dog in the hunt because I only care about the Steelers, and I really don't follow football that closely at all, especially the recent controversy where people like to disrespect the flag and want to kneel and all that bullshit. I really don't have patience for people disrespecting the flag. So, okay, what I'm going to try to do here is blend this so that this matches the other side. See, I don't remember whether, believe it or not, I don't remember whether I used another brush as a blending brush because a couple of brushes I dropped and I had to wash, and they're in a rack in the other room where I dry my laundry. I hand wash all my laundry. Okay, as I'm blending this, it's got the width I like, but it's not quite dark enough. So I'm going to go back into this palette a little bit more, doing my best not to get it onto any place but the crease area. Because one thing that irritates me about this, and why I almost didn't do this tutorial, I noticed throughout the day the shadow would bleed onto here and it would smear. And when that would happen, I would repeatedly go and take the brush and I would sweep off. See how it's smudging here? And if you were to go out dancing with this look, it would smudge. And that's why sometimes I would do these tutorials when I would come home from being at a club, and it'd be really hard to get both sides to match because you would deal with all the sweaty and whatever movement of your face on the one side, and the other side you just take the makeup off and put it on again, and to get both sides to match, that's quite hard. Even considering that I do a touch-up just before I go on camera. Okay, this looks like I can maybe carry the color down just a little bit more. I'm glad I took still photos of this before I went on camera. And I tried to get Tabby Boy in for this too, and he was in the room until about an hour ago. And it's almost like he knows I'm about to go on film, and he's like, the hell with this. I'm blowing this smokestack, you know. Okay, you want to try to get this to where you think the end's going to be. Because now it's time for some eyeliner. Alright, I have a very neat pencil that I got, and I got this at one of the dollar stores here in town for 50 cents, mind you. It's a Maybelline pencil, eyeliner pencil. Most of the lettering has rubbed off of it, but the color is called Canary. And I freshly sharpened it. Well, not freshly, I sharpened it a couple hours ago. But this, I'm going to do a waterline. And of course, I'm using the monitor. I'm glad I found this sharpener today. I used another sharpener earlier that was not a good one, and I had to check it for splinters. Obviously don't want splinters on an eye pencil sharpener. And that's the thing, is when you're dealing with old makeup, old pencils, and I know for a fact this is really old. See, this is a good way to do it one-handed. If you have to use the other hand to hold a mirror. Okay. This is a mascara. Oh, before I do the mascara, this is the eyeliner I use. This is from Wet n Wild, H2O proof, and it's supposed to be waterproof. It was never waterproof on me. I used it a little bit when I first got it, but because it ran, I believe I got it just before the summertime, and it was never suitable when I went outside, when the wind blows and it hits my eyes and my eyes water, not to mention the sweating indoors without air conditioning, not to mention walking around outside. So I couldn't be outside without my eyes watering and it literally running, and I doing the Alice Cooper look. So it was so impractical. So I pretty much left it alone for some months, but I've really been trying to use up my things. And so now I use it on occasion just for filming. If I'm doing a quick video and then I'm going to go to bed afterwards, then, you know. But other than that, because it runs on me so easily, it's just not practical. Now, the fact that it's easy to remove, that does come in handy. And if you haven't seen these videos showing it before, this is what the applicator looks like. It's kind of pointy, and it's actually made of felt, really hard felt. And it has little balls in it, little shaker balls, and you have to shake it up before each use. And it's kind of a flimsy little setup here. I had to repair it with tape, so. But I really want to use up my things before I buy anything more. Alright, where is that mascara? I just had it in my hand. I hate it when I do things like this. Oh, damn it. I'm not going to waste time digging for something. If I can't find that mascara, I'll just have to use another one. But I don't understand why it isn't here. Oh, boy. Yeah, real life, folks. We try our best to be organized. And, okay. Oh, here it is. It fell in a box. Okay, this mascara I'm using is by CoverGirl. It's called Flamed Out. This was labeled as a waterproof mascara, and I got it at my local beauty supply where I get my hair dye. And I did get it on the clearance rack, my caveat. And it was never waterproof for me, and it was always kind of thick. But I want to use it up. It's not the mascara that I would wear if I was going out clubbing. I have to put it on and 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 put so many coatings of it for it to be seen. Of course, in doing the lower lashes, it's always a challenge to not smudge, because I really want the yellow eyeliner to be visible. Now, I didn't bother waterlining my upper eyes. I thought that was just too much. And some people might even think it looks kind of like jaundice. You know, which that hadn't occurred to me. Some people just would stay away from yellow around the eyes for that very reason. But I'm not afraid of making strong color statements. And I really like to do color matching with my clothes. What do you think? Now, this look, a lot of people, in order to achieve this look, they would do a cut crease, but I don't do that if it's not necessary. Why go through the extra steps, right? I don't think that's necessary. One of the brushes that I dropped and is being washed earlier is my highlighter brush. So for me to show you that, I would have to dig out another brush, and I don't feel like doing that. So what I'll do is I'll just hold another brush and I'll show you the color I used. For my highlighter, I used the Blacklight Highlight Palette, and I used the color Electra, but I actually used the same yellow pigment that I have over my eyes on my cheeks. There's no reason why you can't use eyeshadow for cheek color. A lot of people use makeup for other intended purposes than how it was labeled. What I did was, I used this brush. I held the brush tighter because I didn't feel like dirtying another brush. And I didn't want to use a small detail brush and end up with a tiny little dot on my cheeks. I just went like this, and I went focusing on the outer third. It kind of gives you like a mini facelift. You don't want to draw the eye down. Just go like this. And it's still subtle enough, unless you're right on it, you don't even notice it. I love the color coordination. I love the matchy-matchy. With the highlighter, I also went here, 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 here. So that was my look. And oh, this is Cassie the cat. Cassie the garden cat. Isn't she adorable? Oh, yeah. It's like, why did you wake me up? Oh, what do you think of the earrings? My dad got them for me. Well, like years ago. All right, all right. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe. I make new videos 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. They usually have a cat, willing or not, maybe 2. And love to have you enjoy my adventures with me. Till then, talk to you soon. Bye.